Good afternoon, dear tutor and classmates. I'm John Wills, and now I'm gonna use the Web 2.0 tool Wix, in which I'm going to explain the topic comparative and superlative adjectives. Well, as you can see, the web page that I've created is composed by 5 tabs. Each of one are named by adjectives, comparatives, superlatives, irregular adjectives, and the final tab is exercises. Mm, each tab is subdivided by a subtab. In this case, below the adjective tab, we can see the definition. The next part, as we can see, in this tab is about the comparative adjectives. Below we can see the video explanation subtab, which I retrieve a video from YouTube that is related with comparative adjectives, and I intend that the students reinforce their previous knowledge about the meaning of the comparative adjectives. This video show us also a complete explanation and the structure and some samples of comparative adjectives. In this part of the structure of comparative adjectives, I give a chart of that is divided in 3 columns. Each column has a one rule that allow to make the comparative adjective or to form the comparative depends of is the one syllable or 2 or more syllables. In the next subtab that is called examples, I give 4 examples of sentences about the comparative adjectives. And the first one, for example, Peter is taller than his sister. Uh, the next the next example on the right says an airplane is faster than a car, and so forth. So media, these visual examples are very helpful to the students to make a clear example, or to have a clear meaning of the use of how to create or how to form the comparative adjectives, depending on the context or what we are going to compare. Well, as we can see in the next tab that is called superlatives, I made the same methodology that the one of comparative tab. It is divided in subtabs like video explanation, structure, and examples. Again, in this video, it is retrieved from YouTube that is related to superlative adjectives. That is also very helpful to the students to keep or to give a complete idea of how to form the superlative adjectives, what is the structure, and some little examples or how to form the superlative. Well, in the next step that is called irregular adjectives, I gave a chart um, which some adjectives that is the regular form to create the comparative and superlative form. As we can see in the first, for example, the first adjective good, we form the comparative with better and the superlative form with best. The same with the next one, bad, we form the comparative of worse and the superlative form is worst. And the same with the follow words, with the follow adjectives, far, little, and many. In the next subchart, examples, we can see two examples, according to the irregular adjectives form. For example, the first picture, Messi is the best soccer player in the world. Here we can see that Messi is the best, which is the superlative. It is the best of the best of a soccer player we have now. The next, the next picture below says that today's weather is the worst we have this year. That, as we can see in the picture, the winter is very hard, and we can see, and we can say for that that is the worst, is very hard winter in this part of the season. Finally, in the last step of exercises, there are two sub-tabs. The first is practice, and we can see in the arrow, the yellow arrow, download Word document, and the students have to click on this button, and in the next slide we're going to explain how to what is going to happen. Well, once the student click on the download Word document button, it appears a dialog box with a document with a Word document called practice. Well, now we have the Word document called practice. It is composed by two worksheets. The first sheet is about comparative adjectives, and the second sheet is about superlative adjectives exercises. With this, students can write down in the line according to the adjective given in brackets in at the end of each sentence. Finally, I created a subtab that is called Quiz Online. That is the same than the practice. The students have to click on the present the quiz button. Well, once the student click on the take the quiz button, it appears in another tab of the navigator, comparative and superlative adjective. In this slide, we can see that students have to write their name, course, date, and in the red circle there is a button start, which the student have to click on it and so start the quiz. Well, for this quiz I've created two types of questions. The first, as you can see, is the multiple choice. And the students, okay, the quiz is composed by 6 questions. And we can see the first question is of the multiple choice type. So a student have to choose the best answer he consider. Now we have reached the question number 5. This is about filling in the blank, and this is a type of question that is right. In this example, for example, we students have to write the superlative form or the comparative form according to the adjective that is in the brackets and the end of the sentence. Here is the example that when we type the possible answer, and once we have answered this question, the student have to click on the next question button. Once the student have answered of the questions, the student have to click on submit my answers button that is indicated with the red arrow. Well, finally we have the results or the outcomes of the test online. On the red line, it indicates the percent of the quiz. Below, it indicates the number of the questions that had been answered right, and finally, in the red arrow, it indicates if the student has approved or disapproved the quiz. Well, with this information, as a future teacher, I have an idea how many students have learned or the knowledge or the topics that are given in the class. And with this tool, I can assess the students' performance by using technological web tools. Well, finally, here is the importance of learning of, of creation of online materials for virtual environments. Well, the first is that ICT promotes the autonomy in students' learning. Second, both teachers and students achieve a good grasp of technology's mastery. Third, online materials foster the students to be more creative and take part in the class, for example, by means of debates or blogs, and give feedback to parents' contributions. For example, participating or taking part in forums. Uh, the next importance is that online materials are more flexible than printed materials and also provide to the students self-confidence to communicate in second language. This is very important because, for example, a student can give some feedback or present make a presentation or asking some question or taking part in a debate online. This is very important to promote, for example, speaking fluency in second language, and also writing and listening the other partners' participation. And finally, online materials can even seen anywhere, anytime, giving the chance even to download relevant materials to study. And this is very important because if I want to study an offline materials, we also can download it, a PDF document and study even when we are not online. And that's for reason this is this very online materials is very important. Well, that's all for now, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.